何これ何これ何これ
So during episode 1 of When Will Ayumu Make His Move, one of the things that was made clearly evident in the comments section of that video was a lot of you were telling me that this is the same creator that created Takagi-san. And teasing Takagi-san is a awesome, really cool, fun, chill, sweet, wholesome, just really cool anime, and I've always really enjoyed Takagi-san. I've recently been catching up with the latest season of Takagi-san because I watched the first, I think, 2 seasons, and I think now they're on their 3rd. Correct me in the comments. It could be 3rd, and maybe now it's the 4th. But whatever the most recent one is, I know they recently dubbed it, so I watched like 3 or 4 episodes on High Dive so far. And that is an awesome anime. And if this truly is the same creator, I think it has some of the same qualities that Takagi-san kind of brings to the table, which is all those things I mentioned. It's cute, it's wholesome, it's endearing, it's heartwarming. It's a cool little plot, a cool little story between 2 people in high school. It's all those things that kind of Takagi-san brought forward, you know, in a smaller scope a little bit. And I think it's really, really interesting and really cool. And one of my favorite guilty pleasures when it comes to anime specifically, with these kind of like school anime, is just school anime completely. And, you know, I'm sure this is the same sentiment for a lot of you guys out there. Maybe not all of you, but probably a good percentage of you guys of like, yo, we haven't been in school in a really long time. Like for me personally, I was like, holy crap. I was like, I ended college in 2010. So nearly 12 years ago was the last time I was in school, like at all. And before that, like I stopped going to high school in 2007. So I mean, I haven't been in a middle school, high school setting, Jesus, in closer to like, I don't even know, 14 years, something insane. Ugh, saying it out loud just grosses me out. But it's been a long time. So one of my guilty pleasures in anime is kind of like vicariously living, I guess, through, or just kind of seeing those school settings. And I always really enjoy it because like seeing, you know, kids join clubs and have these little relationships. And like in this episode, specifically in episode 2, the biggest thing of the day, the biggest thing on their mind this episode was the school festival, right? And then after the school festival, or not school, but the athletic, you know, the athletic festival, you know, or the athletic triathlon, whatever they call it. But the athletic festival was like the biggest thing that's on their mind. And then after that was finding more members for the shogi club. And like in my mind, like that's so cute. Like you basically have essentially, you know, you have no worries, right? Like if your biggest worry is like, you know, studying or, you know, getting members of a club or like not failing your athletics test or your athletic club, like that's so cute. Like there's nothing, like that's basically saying like you have no worries in the whole world, you know. And it's just so cool not having to worry about like any real stuff in life. It's just so cool. And I always take pleasure kind of watching that because it's like, oh man, I have like a scroll. I'm just like, ugh, here's my scroll log of shit that I stress about all the time. And it's like, oh well, being able to vicariously live a moment, you know, for 23 minutes through, you know, characters, whether it's insert Ayumu or, you know, whatever character in here, like, you know, it's just such a cool vibe. So like I said already, this episode is really just focused around 2 major things: the sports festival or athletics festival, whatever you call it, the sports festival, and Ayumu getting, you know, kind of like, I don't necessarily want to say making his move, but, you know, essentially like him putting on the moves a little bit. And I really found that quite good. You know, and at the same time that he put his moves on, he kind of diminishes it as well, because this episode he goes through and him and Arushi, they do the 3-legged race together, which is really, really cute. And they basically fail at it. And the reason they fail at it is because Arushi let it get to her head about when Ayumu was holding on to her. And because of that, she kind of got flustered and she fell. And, you know, they did it awful at that. So, you know, the next thing was the running thing, where the baton race. And Ayumu looked at her in the eyes, is like, "I will win this for you." Basically, that's what happened. And they do the baton race, and what ends up happening is Ayumu does kind of pull it out of his butt, and he kind of pulls off the W, but not before he has to grab Urushi. He grabs her, he princess carries her, and his letter that he had, because there was a scavenger hunt to end it, was go grab an adorable object. So at the same time that he princess carried her and basically made her feel like really embarrassed and all this stuff, he brought it back down because she's like, "Oh man, you see me as an object. What the heck? What does that mean?" So I thought that was a really cute little back and forth. Then later on, they have them kind of like getting more members for the Shogi Club, and Ayumu, against his behest, goes and invites his friend Takaru, and Takaru goes and joins the club because one of the girls that he likes, I don't know what her name is, Saku something, she does some hypnosis on him, and she makes him join the club. And, Ayumu goes and shares that with Urushi, and he makes her happy. Then he swears to make her happy again, and they share it's not takoyaki, it's taiyaki, I think, little bean bun breads, potato bun things. And they share that, and they have a really cool and cute moment, kind of being embarrassed back and forth, indirect kissing. So silly. I've never heard the term indirect kiss in my whole life until I started watching anime like a decade ago, or a couple decades ago. 2004. Jesus Christ, a long time ago. I never that term indirect kiss, I don't feel like hasn't really made an appearance until like the 2010s, and that kind of after that. Before that, I had never heard of that statement in my whole entire life. So regardless, this episode's absolutely adorable, absolutely adorbs, absolutely cute, absolutely wholesome, and I just love watching it, and it definitely gives me those same feelings and vibes as Takagi-san. Let me know what you guys thought about this week's episode down in the comments below. Of course, as always, I appreciate you guys being here. Be here next week for another episode, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.